Hello and welcome to Mr. Marshall Flip. Today we're looking at the digestive system. Now, last time we talked about the respiratory system and we talked about the fact that there were two types of respiration. There was internal respiration and external respiration. And just as a reminder, internal respiration is this equation. Remember, we had oxygen and glucose, and they were combined and changed into carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Okay, and this is how we get energy into our body. This is how we make sure that our body can function correctly, that we've got the energy to do what we need to do. As I posed in the last video, how does food turn into glucose? So how does this turn into this, and this, and this? Okay, those were different types of molecules that our food gets turned into. We had glucose, amino acids, and glycerol, and we'll talk more about those in a little bit. But our digestive system starts in the mouth. Now, I know this picture doesn't have a mouth, but we'll get to everything here in a moment. It starts in the mouth. Our mouth does two really important things. First, it breaks down the food into smaller chunks. Imagine if you swallowed a steak and you just tried to break it down as is. That's going to take a long time. We know from chemistry, if we've got a small surface area, just the outside of something, it's going to react slowly. Whereas if we break it down into small pieces, like grind it into small pieces, what's going to happen is the chemical reaction is going to speed up. So that's what our mouth is doing. It's taking food, which starts big, breaks it down into those smaller pieces so the chemical reactions can happen faster. The other thing is saliva is working to break down food into those components already. So one thing is saliva is chemically digesting starch. We'll talk more about that in a moment. After we eat it, we swallow. Now, swallowing action happens all the way down our throat in what's called the esophagus, and you can see that up in the picture here. Starts here, goes all the way down into the stomach. But the esophagus is interesting because it's like a big tube of muscles, and what will happen is they will contract and relax. So say the food's up in this bit, the bottom bit will relax so that the food's got somewhere to go, and the top bit will squeeze. It's a bit like when you've got a roll of toothpaste or a tube of toothpaste and you're trying to get some of it out. If the top is empty and all the toothpaste is at the bottom, you'll squeeze at the bottom and it'll push all of the toothpaste up until some toothpaste comes out. Okay, it's the same concept, it's just happening in muscles in your throat. This is why you can actually do a handstand and swallow food. So the food gets passed all the way down into the stomach. Your stomach is a muscular bag, okay? What that means is it can move around and it can do things. It's not just this sack that's holding your food. It moves it around, it churns your food and it mixes it so that all of your food is interacting with the chemicals in your stomach. All of it is starting to digest. The walls of your stomach also release hydrochloric acid into your stomach, which kills bacteria. This is what prevents us from getting sick from a lot of simple diseases. By this time, most of our food is getting pretty digested and it's turned into a thick paste. By the time it reaches our small intestine, which is what's next, it's broken down into a variety of forms, and those were the things we were looking at before. So starch, this is the stuff that you find in things like potatoes, has been turned into glucose. Let's get rid of that. Glucose. Okay, glucose is that simple sugar that we burn for energy. Our proteins, like those that are found in meat, get turned into amino acids. Okay, and the other one is fats. Fats get turned into fatty acids and glycerol. And all of these are different nutrients that are in forms that our body can use. Now, the small intestine uses a bunch of little finger-like protrusions called villi, and these villi basically are filled with blood vessels which are absorbing the glucose and the amino acids and the glycerol and the fatty acids, all of that sort of stuff, absorbing it into the blood. And once it's in the blood, it can be transported around the body and distributed where it needs to go. If there's enough nutrients in the blood already and they don't need more, it gets transported to the liver. The liver basically stores these for later. So say you're eating a really, really nutritious meal and you've got heaps more than you need, it'll get stored in the liver, and then later on maybe you're a little bit hungry, the liver will start distributing all of this out to other parts of your body. After the small intestine, and the small intestine is this one which squiggles all over the place, it gets to the large intestine. The large intestine goes round, whoop, and all the way back down to your rectum. The large intestine is absorbing out all of the water that's left in your food, because we need water to function. Like, every cell of your body is made up a large portion of liquid. So as your blood, we need lots of water all the time. This is why you should drink a lot of water. Keeps you healthy. Gives your body everything that it helps all of your cells survive and work or function properly. So water is absorbed out, a few other minerals are absorbed out, and then it becomes waste. Okay, and after that, it is passed out through the anus. So that's the digestive system. Starts with your mouth, chew up the food, swallow it through your esophagus, gets churned up in your stomach, and turned in or broken down into those basic elements that our body needs, pass through the small intestine where they get distributed out into the blood, into our body, into the large intestine where we get out water, and then passed out through the anus. That's our digestive system. Thank you for watching.